Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay. Let's start over.
No, no,
Hi,
that's a good one.
Dave.
I like that one. What would you call that? Hi, Dave. What would you call that one?
Jazz hands. That's
A
what they
jazz
call
hands.
jazz
Well,
hands.
that's right. But why are they jazz hands? That's interesting, though. I know what you mean.
Because they're jazzy. That's why.
Jazzy. Yeah. They're jazzy. Are we recording? Yeah, we're recording. Good.
Oh
Okay.
no, I was gonna say great because then we can do this over again.
No, you can't. There are no second takes. In this podcast, we just do one take.
Which I was gonna say, not in this life.
Oh God. I love
Get,
those
get many
all those
takes.
YouTubes you see about all the different directors. Have you ever seen the ones where people talk about Clint Eastwood directing? It's so funny.
No, no.
He's something like, some people apparently say action, or something like that, when to start.
Yeah.
But with Clint Eastwood, it says, mm, whenever you're ready, or what are we waiting for? Like, can you start? And when he wants you to finish, he says like, that's enough. And it's like, and I remember that, what was it? I think it was Clint Eastwood. Matt Damon said to him once, look, I think I can do that better, that last scene. And he said, like, how much percentage better? He says, maybe 5% better or something. So Clint Eastwood said, okay, so you want us all to hang around for another hour, all these people that want to go home, all this stuff, so you can do something 5% better. Really? Something like that.
He told them.
So he's like anti-ego, it sounds like Clint Eastwood. He knocks people's egos down.
He looks like he's like that in life. I mean, he's been pretty consistent throughout his entire career with the characters that he plays, if you think about it. They carry the same kind of moral compass. They have the same moral compass. They're just very grounded, very sure of themselves, but very like a lot of integrity,
Yeah,
a
yeah,
hard ass, you know. I kind of feel the same about Harrison Ford. Even with all the roles he's played, I always feel like he's just always had that same. There are actors like that. So I guess the ones that come to mind that are like that are Robert Redford, Clint Eastwood, Harrison Ford. You just know what you're getting when you're going to see them. You
yeah,
know, no matter what role they play, you know what
yeah.
you're getting. You know,
I was just thinking,
when you're
other actors who would be very different, or actresses who'd be very different. They
hmm,
just really can change their role based on what character they have to portray. Can
like
change who the,
who
I think
who
there
do you
are.
think? Can you think of any?
I don't know. Oh, God, this is an interesting topic. How about, I think Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yes.
What are they, don't they call them method actors or something? And they have to, like, the whole time they're in that movie, they've got to be in that character. If they come out of it, they find it hard to get back into it again.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, there are a few method actors,
Method
but yeah,
actors.
there's so many. I know. I can't think of any right now. God, why is that? Yeah. I mean, and there are because I'm trying to think of someone like, for example, Nicole Kidman. Nicole Kidman has played just such a wide, diverse array of characters
Yeah.
in her movies. But and when you're watching it, you really get into it. You're not thinking, oh, this is Nicole Kidman playing this character. You
Mm.
really believe that she is that person.
Yeah.
But but there still is something very like consistent about her,
That's right.
you know. For some reason, yeah, there's something that tells me I wouldn't call her a method actor,
Mm.
but she does really get into her characters. You could
Mm.
tell she's fully immerses herself, which begs the question, which I think you and I spoke about the other day when we were just having a conversation. I'm like, I can't even imagine what that must be like on a marriage, uh, for one of
Mm.
the persons in the relationship to be
Yeah.
an actor who gets heavily involved in their character
Yeah.
and has a lot of physical interaction with other actors because she does very sexually charged. She plays very sexually charged characters in
Yeah.
many of her movies. And I thought, wow, I can't imagine what that was like on a marriage because it must be difficult. It must have been difficult.
Mm.
And
Depends
also,
on the marriage,
and
I
also,
guess.
yeah, and also your children, if you have children that
Yeah,
are
children,
seeing
yeah.
you go and do roles where you're, going to bed and
Yeah.
with different men and getting naked and I can imagine it must take a particular personality as the children of actors
Yeah.
to watch the parents do that.
I
As a
guess
women.
I'm just thinking there must be different ways of looking at this. For instance, it's interesting. Something happened the other day. There's like where I'm living now it's sort of like in the eastern part of Sydney. There's like like a tram comes from the city out here. They call it light rail, but it's like a tram, I guess.
Light rail, you
Yeah,
said?
it's like a little train, and it's very cute. It used to be a train line for flour, I think, wheat. Yes, right. They used to bring wheat from the docks,
Okay.
I think, up here, and there are all these flour mills in this area, which have closed down now. Well, they used to make the flour, so they had this old train line, and so then they thought, oh, let's put a tram there. So it's so convenient. It's like you walk out your back door. I've only got to walk 5 minutes, and I'm on this thing to the city. Anyway, I
Okay.
was coming out from the city the other day, and these things, as you get further out, gradually people leave. So there are not many people left. And there was just one family opposite me. And it was hard to work out the family because I think she said that she was from New York. They were having some conversation. He was Australian, right? They seemed to be married and have two kids, but I couldn't work out whose were the kids, or were they both of them, or
Mm.
did she have the kids first and he marry? I don't know. But
Yeah.
the kids were really, like a lot of kids, they're really inquisitive. They're asking lots of questions. So they're asking, oh, how do the train doors work? Or how does this work? And all this sort of stuff. All these questions about it. And the dad was sort of being a dad. He was making out he knew, but he didn't really know. So I was listening to some of his answers and thinking, wow, that's not actually true, you know. So he was in a role that he couldn't say he didn't know. He always seemed to had to put on this tone of voice that he was quite sure.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, oh, I felt like interrupting him once and saying, actually, that's not actually true, but I didn't do it. I thought that could have created World War III. So,
Yeah.
but the funniest thing happened. Um, yeah, he was like, so he became he was like the dad expert, like a lot of dads, like the dad expert. And then we got to a stage where the lady said, "Are we going in the right direction?" They looked and they started looking at the train map and things like that. And he said, "Oh no, we got the wrong side. We're going in the wrong direction."
Right? Oh God, I've done that.
So I thought afterwards, yeah, that was I mean, that sort of thing often happens, doesn't it? When you get someone who says they know everything, they get shown up, something happens to show, oh, you don't actually know everything.
Oh
And
boy.
he couldn't hide the fact, oh, we're going in completely the wrong direction.
Yeah.
So, okay, what's the point of this story? It's
Yeah.
exactly what you're saying in a
Point
way about I think these maybe actresses or actors have like these sexy roles or something, or physical roles, and then they have kids and a partner. It's like,
yeah.
it depends how you look at it, because for instance, for this guy on this train, okay, he was demonstrating that, well, maybe a man, a father has to know. That's what he was demonstrating in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
But he could have been much more humble and honest and say, look, I don't really know. Like
Let's
when
find
how
out.
do the train doors work? I'm not quite sure. I think it's something to do with there's electric motor or things like, but I'm not quite sure. Maybe when we're home we can look it up together. or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
He could have demonstrated humility
Yeah.
or knowing your limitations or something like that.
Just not being so sure.
Not being so sure, which I think I was thinking watching him like saying I felt that he was missing a great opportunity to really show the kids about something about life. Like you don't have to know everything or, something like that, some other
So the
quality.
Well, so I'm sorry to interrupt, but I guess the big question here is, Dave, how were you with your kids when they were younger? Did you do that?
Yeah, I think I did it quite a lot, but I didn't
Which
maybe,
one? Which
pardon?
one? Being sure that acting like you knew things, or
Acting like I knew things. I know I had that drive in me to be like
yeah,
that. But I don't
yeah.
think it was as extreme as the guy I was seeing in this train. So, yeah. But and also it depends on your children because maybe my kids didn't ask so many of those type questions. Maybe they asked different questions. So I didn't have to answer the scientific type things.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't think I was so extreme as this gentleman, but I
Mm,
still had that, and I still had that with friends or peers, like if it was at a dinner party or out for a drink, I had to make out I was knowledgeable,
yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Um, so I definitely had that drive, and I think that drive has only reduced in the last 10 or 15 years, having to prove myself. Because in a
You,
way, it's like looking back on it now, it's an insecurity, you know. Not
yeah.
being able to say, I don't know. What's wrong with
Yeah.
like what's
Well,
wrong with
yeah.
saying I don't know?
It's a fear.
It's a
It's
fear,
just a
yeah.
it's just a fear.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah, we call it insecurity or lack of confidence, but it's coming from fear. And then if you go a little further than that, it's it's a like a primordial, it comes from a primordial fear. Because if you're wrong about something or you don't know something, that
Mm.
puts you in a position of weakness. And
Yeah.
if you're weak, you can be conquered.
Yeah.
So, like in a very primordial sense, we have that in us, in our body. Our body is made up of prey
Mm.
predator cells, and then we're basically yeah, being wrong is basically a an attack on your on your life, on your existence, our on our existence in a way.
Yeah. So it's
It is.
interesting because I mean I thought quite a lot in the last year or two about community and things like that. Or when I see someone like in a city, you often see people begging for money or they got some issue, some mental issue or something, and they seem very alone, you know. And I'm thinking, wow, if we go back to the tribe, go back 2,000 years to a tribe or something, I don't
Yeah.
think they would have been alone. The tribe would look after them, feed them, So you look how,
Mm,
like how is the society trying to manage that now? How are they trying to help people or give them a sense of community? But if you go way back in time, my hunch is it was a tribe and looked after people. So
yeah.
in a way, the tribes these days, you could say, are quite small. They're just your family, you know.
Yes.
And then
Or your family and friends.
your family and friends. So if I go with what we're talking about, like, having to know things and like it's out of security because if you were the leader of the tribe, so maybe for a lot of guys, maybe if we're just talking about guys for a moment, um, they're the leader of their family, which is like the leader of their tribe. So it's very
Hmm.
similar,
Leader
maybe
of the pack.
needing to know, needing to be right, that sort of
Hmm.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's quite an evolution to get to, as you say, that humility. Because if you didn't know, then why are you the leader of the tribe?
Yeah.
It should be someone else.
Well, I mean, God, we could go back, I imagine in history, like when the emperors in China used to be babies.
I know, yeah.
That's how it was. There are countries where the next leader of an entire nation is a newborn child, you
Yeah.
know. So I mean, yeah, that we could go way deep into that one, but it does. I was just thinking about something when you were just saying that. I was thinking about, like, how there's a hierarchy and there's a very specific order in the world of wolves, you know, pack of
Mm.
wolves.
Yeah.
There's the one at the front, there's the ones in the middle, there's the one, and then there's the one at the end, and it's usually the weakest one that leads. It's the sick or the weakest one that leads everyone that's at the front, because
Mm.
everyone needs to basically support, make sure that one doesn't get left behind. But it's interesting. I wonder if they can show, like, in the lives of those wolves also, if there's a leader who leads everyone astray in a way sometimes and makes mistakes
Yeah.
and does get some of the pack killed. And it would be interesting to show how, again, we were talking about animals in part one, and it would be interesting to see if there is a parallel. I think there is for sure. Anyway, we've seen so many similarities in the behavior of animals and humans,
Yeah.
so many parallels. And look at how they're using certain animals to do experiments for the use of humans. So obviously, not only behaviorally but genetically, there are very high similarities, like with rats and mice, for example, monkeys, of
Mm.
course, primates. But yeah, it's
Because I was
interesting.
actually, I mean, I was going to go back to what you first said about the actors. I was thinking that, like you were saying, Nicole Kidman, she's had quite a few, she's got kids, but she's got quite a few raunchy scenes or I don't know,
Or
intimate
a whole
scene,
career,
her whole
a
career.
whole
So I'm
career. It's
thinking
not
that
just
it depends what
movies.
example you're setting, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You might be setting an example to your kids of trying things, not being afraid to give something a go,
Be
not being
yourself.
afraid to express yourself. It
Yeah.
depends how you look at it or even how it's communicated, you know, and also to make things not a taboo. So maybe, oh, sexuality is not a taboo or it's making it more natural or something.
That would make sense. I mean, that's the feeling you get anyway, is that because of the specific roles that she chooses, it does seem that there is that element to her where, as a person, she's extremely, she takes risks. She
Yeah.
takes big risks, and she takes things that might be scary to do and to experiment with. Yeah. I mean, yeah, when you look at actors, I always thought since I was little that when an actor plays a part, I've
Yeah.
always thought this. Even when I was a child, I used to think that that actor has an aspect of their true self is in that character. If
Mm.
not, they would never have resonated with playing that character. So you it's interesting, and it's interesting how those questions don't really get asked to actors when they do press junkets for the
Mm.
movies they play. I don't hear that question very often. Like, can you talk more about why you chose this character? And could you talk about the parallels of who you are as a person and this
Mm.
character, and to really go into the psychology of what was resonating in
Yeah.
in choosing. Because I mean, you look at someone like, I'll just say Joaquin.
Joaquin.
Joaquin,
Joaquin.
Joaquin, Joaquin Phoenix. When he did the Joker, and you look at that and you go, holy shit, how could someone play a character like that? But you can just tell that he resonated so strongly
Mm.
with with something very profound within that character.
Mm. Yeah.
Uh, so anyway, it's interesting. It's
Because as we've been talking, I've been thinking about Zoe Saldana, who I really like. Um,
Wait a
and,
minute. Does that mean that you think while I'm talking, and that I think while you're talking?
yeah,
Are we
because
listening to each other?
it, it's funny because it can be a battle sometimes inside me. You're like, do I totally listen, or I get a thought? Do I hang on to that thought? Do I let it go? It's not easy,
It's not
actually.
easy.
I
I
don't
did.
find it easy. I know that if I truly want to listen, I really have to focus on not thinking and just
Yeah.
listening. It's interesting. But actually, it's a really good point because it's like, it's,
We're doing it to each other, which is so funny. Go
I
on.
know it's so funny.
Good point because
Because I know, for instance, I'm thinking about, oh, when Marilyn stops talking, maybe I'm going to say this. But it's a bit not natural because I think some of the best conversations we've had is where we really listen to each other deeply. Uh, and I know that in styles, like I think there's that Colombian guy, Emilio Ortez or something. He
yeah.
doesn't say much. I've seen him. He interviews those sort
How
of
many
spiritual
interviews
people.
people?
He
Hmm.
doesn't, he recently he's been saying more and then I don't like him so much. But when he started out, he would just
Listen.
listen and he would not move. But then he would ask a very insightful but very short question, you know.
Mm, yeah.
But then there are other guys who just interrupt people and who
Oh,
who someone says something and then their question almost like comes from a list of questions they had before they started the podcast, but not doesn't seem to follow on from what the person
yes,
said.
exactly. Like they instead of going from what the person says, they go back to their list of
The list,
questions.
yeah.
So it doesn't feel as
It doesn't
organic
feel
as
organic,
it is.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, well, first of all, I didn't mean to interrupt you. We will go back to Zoe Saldana,
I think it's very important we do.
what she was saying. Very important, very important. Um, and please go ahead and we will attempt to listen to each other a little bit more. I think
I was
they
always
do
so
that.
done because like she got into this thing called Lioness. I don't know if you've seen it.
I have not seen it and I wanted to with
I
Nicole
love
Kidman.
it. It's like I really love it because it's like I think
Yeah.
I love action. I like where things change fast. It's like you don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know how they're going to solve the next problem. But it's like I also like gutsy, like ballsy women, who are like really, and Nicole Kidman's in it and she's in it and they're really quite tough. They're the ones pulling the shots, and the
Oh,
men are
right.
sort of quivering a bit. It's quite funny. So we could have
With
an
the
episode on
on what?
why I like that. But I get to the point. I get to the point. She was interviewed about her role in this, and she
Okay.
explained something I'd never realized. It was really lovely. So she
Mm,
said that she had always had problems. I think as we say, don't quote me on this, but maybe she's dyslexic or
yes.
something,
Hmm.
right? So she said she was always nervous about having roles with lots of speaking, lots of dialogue
Lines.
because of the script, reading the script and learning her lines and things.
Yeah.
So she'd always chosen roles where she hardly said anything. And I thought,
Oh,
shit, she's right. All the roles in like, what was it?
Avatar?
Guardians of the Galaxy and
Mm.
that one where she plays a little kid who revenges her parents who are killed, in the
Oh
drug
yeah.
cartels, Colombiana or
La
something.
Colombiana.
Yeah, I really like
La
that movie, but
Colombiana.
she only says three words in it.
I need you to say the title of the word. Come on, you need to practice your Spanish. Stop trying to change the conversation so quickly all the time. I mean, really? Come on, say it. La,
Like,
la
yeah,
Colombiana.
Colombiana.
Oh, very good.
Uh-huh.
Oh, oh, oh,
Uh-huh.
oh. Okay.
So, yeah, she's interviewed about this Lannis role, and she said that because she's done most of the talking in the show, a lot of the talking, and she
Yeah,
said, I don't know what happened. She said, I got this role now where I have to talk, and I
yeah.
can do it. It's like been like a growth for me. She said it was like the way she explained it was really beautiful. The way it was like a transition in her life to now. So she's like
More
she's
confident.
she's changed her typecasting now into
Okay.
something completely different. So it's
Oh,
been very good for her, I think.
yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, there was a big award. There was a big what was it called? AFI, the American Film Institute. Every year they honor one actor.
Oh, really?
Lifetime Achievement Award. And last year it was, I think it was Nicole Kidman. And I watched it for a little while. And Zoe Saldana got up to give a, to, because every person got up and said something about Nicole Kidman, obviously, you know. So
Yeah.
her husband got up and said all these amazing things about her, and then right before they they split, but Zoe Saldana got up and she said how bonding it was for her to do that role with Nicole, and she learned so many things, and they became like sisters. She considers her like a sister now, you know.
Oh, they look like it on the show as well, actually.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
maybe there was something in I mean, I can imagine Nicole Kidman must be a very inspiring uh, actor to many actors
Mm.
because she has taken on such risky roles
Mm.
and time again, right? So I can imagine as an actor looking at her and saying, wow, that's what I aspire to be able to do, you know?
It's interesting because like she's almost 60, I think, or she is 60, and God, she's so busy.
Oh, that woman, every time I look at one of the channels of Netflix or HBO, she's in two to three things.
I know.
I'm like, what? Who finds the time to do all that? I don't know that it's the time
It's
that it takes. These
amazing.
projects take time. These projects take 3 to 6 months
Well, like
more.
Taylor Sheridan guy, I mean, who is this guy? He seems to be managing about five shows at the same time. And he actually, in Lioness, he's actually acting in it too. He has a small role in the last series.
Hi,
You get to see his muscles and all that.
Taylor
He's a,
Sheridan.
oh, he's a
Where's
beefy guy.
that? I just saw that name somewhere.
Pardon?
He does a lot of shows. I just saw his name. Oh, wait,
Yellowstone.
is he the guy who did Landman?
Yellowstone, 1923, and
Oh, wow.
Lioness at the same time or something. He
Wow.
and but the interesting thing about Lioness, like, so they had a first season, and then oh, they're gonna have a second. They had the second season, so it's like in the first season, there's this actress. I never seen her before. I think she's Brazilian. So it
Okay.
looks like from the story, you'll never see her again. She's alive at the end, but because of the nature of the series, you think, oh, logically, maybe she won't come back.
Okay. Okay.
So, so it gets to about the third episode or fourth or out of the next season. I think there were 8 episodes. I think it gets to episode three, and she returns. And then, like, you're thinking, oh, possibly she could return, and then she comes back. But then I read somewhere or saw a YouTube video that they actually were writing the script as they were going, and they got to a point where they thought logically we should bring her back, and there was a phone call to her say, "You're in again, come back," and she goes, "Wow," you know. So they
That,
actually write it as they're going. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
crikey, that's a
Oh,
skill, isn't it, or
that
something?
happens a lot. That happens a lot with shows. If someone is popular or there's a demand for that person or there's a, a lot of people really get into this particular character, they'll definitely, there's constantly rewrites, especially on shows like that, you know, where it's a series and they have room to adjust,
Mm,
to adapt and adjust. That's funny. I was thinking about how we left off on the last episode talking about matter and antimatter. And
mm.
then I was
Did
I
Zoe
was just,
Saldana remind you of this or Nicole Kidman or something?
yeah, well, in a way, what I thought is, you know, how there's a protagonist and an antagonist in a
Oh,
movie.
yes.
And in a way, it's almost like matter and antimatter
Yeah.
mirror
Mm,
those those two opposite spectrums, you
yeah.
know? And here's the interesting thing, like, you know how we were talking about like how antimatter and matter, when they come together, they cancel each other out. And you said, well, no, there's another aspect to that. Yes, there are many aspects to that. But what I was thinking about is, so, you know, when a protagonist and antagonist, when in a movie, they become friends or they
Yeah.
become allies or they make peace, you
Yeah.
just feel so good. You just feel like, wow, so inspired in a way. Some people probably, you know, I'm sure there are people who don't like that, that would like for one to take over the other. But generally, I think that a lot of people, when you say the feel good movie, it's the movie that actually has two opposites. that come together and make peace and harmonize. And I thought that's just a little bit this, it's kind of the same concept of antimatter and matter canceling each other
Uh,
out
I
and
don't
turning
know.
into
I
something.
might have a different angle to you.
Dave, I really, we talked about you not disagreeing with me on the podcast about this.
Well, you see, we're just trying to demonstrate because if you're the antimatter and I'm the matter, you're like, I think if they fuse together and they sort of neutralize, then the fun's over.
I know. Are you
It's
the
the
anti?
end.
Well, no, but that's just for like part one of the movie. Then comes part two where they start fighting again.
Okay, so it's only a temporary neutralization.
Temporary. God, I just don't get it.
It was
That's
so
why
funny.
this
If you see the, did you ever see Absentia?
and no, 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 you told me about it. I never saw it.
I liked it. I liked it, but the third series gets a bit dark. Literally, it's on the
It's in the
screen.
dark.
It's really dark. So they could have turned the lights on more and had more music to liven it up. But in that show, it's really interesting because like this woman sort of gets abducted, right? And it's about like finding who abducted her. So I think after a few episodes. Like I was being naughty. I was looking forward to, oh, what's in season two? You know, so naughty. But
About
so I
this.
got to the end of season one and I thought, oh, like what will season two be about? Because they found the person who did it, you know.
Yeah,
So end of,
yeah.
but when they get to season two, you know what it's about? It's about, but behind that person was someone else controlling them,
Yeah.
right? And they do it like three or four times in the show. They find the next person, but then there's someone else controlling them.
Yeah,
It's amazing, all these layers.
it
It's
is.
really well done. So it does remind me of people who say, this is very naughty of me. I could get in trouble for this. You
You
know, people
probably will.
say you know, if you learn my stuff, you'll become awakened.
Hmm.
You know, that's what people, and I look at this and I think, yeah, but awaken to what? Like this reality, but what about the next one and the next one?
That's the whole point, is that it's never ending.
It's never ending.
But you could still want to get awakened from something that's keeping you trapped in one layer of the story, because if not, you're looping in that one layer. So, I guess in a
Yeah,
way, human being is constantly striving to know itself better. So it's almost like consciousness is, of course, we've talked about this so many times that consciousness seems to be using the human in a way, not using, but we are an interface for some kind of evolution
mm.
or knowing or
No,
understanding.
yeah,
Yeah, so it does it through us. So it would
yeah,
only make sense that the series that we watch that have like season one, season two, season three, season 699, the reason why those are so appealing is because we are, in a way, we're always seeking to understand more. Oh, but I
yeah,
want to know more. I want to understand
yeah,
more. I want to see
yeah,
more. I want to get it, and the series gives you that feeling that you are understanding more
yeah,
of what's behind what you're seeing. And so I think psychologically that's why we're so uh, like we get so hooked on these stories that have layer upon layer upon layer, because
yeah.
that's how we, in a way, the human being evolves and comes to know itself better and better. But it could also be a loop. It could also be a trap.
Oh no, there are no loops.
Oh, okay. I know you spoke to Silas about it. Nothing's redundant. I get it. Well, David say that at Tyser all the time. Nothing's redundant, also.
No, we should explain. I asked AI, is life a
Hmm.
loop? Like every day, sees the same, and it came back and said, no, no, Dave, there are no loops. You always learn something that day, or there's some experience which will change your next day. So
Yeah,
the days aren't the same.
yeah.
It's a spiral. They said it's not a loop.
I think there are many people who might disagree with you on that, but those are good.
including you.
We need that because we need the matter to your antimatter or the antimatter to your matter.
I love it. I love it when you're not agreeing with me. You don't say that
Gives
you
you
don't agree with me.
a
You
sense
say
of
that I think that a lot of people would disagree with you. And you have this really special look on your face.
wait, special how?
Pardon?
Special how?
It looks like you're having like a short circuit, like something in your circuit's not working. I know. We'll have to. I think we should. I'm being a bit naughty. We should take that as a photo for the episode. So
I
what's
like
it?
and I like how I used other people. Like I said, I think other people would
I
disagree
know.
with
I think it
you.
was so
Instead of me
beautiful.
saying to you, I totally disagree with you.
But Marilyn, we've known each other for years. Like, I don't. Are you? Don't you feel comfortable to just to say to me, I think that's a lot of shit, Dave, you know?
No, sometimes I like to I like to lie to you and just see what'll happen. I mean, come on, it's not wouldn't be fun if I'm always telling you what I really think about you, and you always
So,
tell me what you think about me.
yeah, what do you really think about me? Oh my God,
Oh,
I did. A friend of mine said that to me recently.
said
And
what?
yeah, she said, like, please tell me what you think of me.
Whoa.
And wow, was that a trap? I should have seen it. It should have, it was like, it was a big
Dave,
trap.
don't you know how to read people by now? Come on, dude. You've been
Oh
at this for
God.
how many years? There, there is no bigger trap than someone who tells you that. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Oh God.
Yeah, I actually fell into that trap about less than a year ago. Someone asked me what I thought about what they did, the thing that they facilitated or did for a living
You,
or something.
yeah.
And I had an experience with it, and they asked me what did I think about it. Yeah,
We could start a club for that. People 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 who have
yeah,
told people exactly what they think of
that was
them.
interesting. I almost got shot in the head. Oh boy. I mean, and I said it in a very, yeah, it was not personal the way I shared it. It was quite, I felt like it was quite neutral, but
That's that's what you thought.
well, I just said how it felt for me
Yeah,
actually.
I
I just
know. That's what I
how it
meant.
felt.
I think it was
Yeah.
it's like it's what don't they use those in those gangster movies? They say it wasn't personal, it was just business.
Well,
Just before they
that's
get shot.
not what I meant.
Oh my God. So
Yeah.
so it's good to have the polarity going between us, you know. Makes more
Yes.
fun. So look, we have, but hang on, with the matter and the antimatter, we haven't decided yet. Is it you've got the matter and or the antimatter, or is it me? Who is it between
I
us?
mean, come on, look what's behind me.
A a green wall.
I've got both, Dave. It's split,
Oh,
and
you split. Oh
I've
my
got matter
God.
and antimatter.
Oh my God.
It's a mirror. I have
Oh,
both.
you're so
That's
balanced.
both.
But me, I'm
Yeah.
just bright orange, so I'm just antimatter, obviously, and the good stuff.
Oh boy. Um, yeah. So what was I gonna say? Let's see. Oh, you know what? I woke up missing Hong Kong a lot. I don't know why. It was so
Let's change the subject.
we're gonna change the subject completely because why not? Oh wait, should I check in with you? Dave, do you mind if I talk about my feelings for a minute?
You know who complains about this when we change the topic like this? Do
Oh,
you know who?
me.
No, Zoom. Zoom complains. You
Oh,
know,
they do?
they give an AI summary and they say this, I can't make sense of this. There's no thread. And I say, And then I throw it back to Silas. I say, Silas, can you come up with a theme for today? But you know,
And it
Silas
comes
does
back
it.
and it writes you back WT.
What the fuck? No, it doesn't write about what the fuck. No, it'll work it out. Silas might say the theme today was randomness. Okay, moving on. Silly. Okay, you woke up thinking about Hong Kong. Not everyone does that, you know.
Not everybody does that. Yeah, I don't know why. It was something yeah, so this now this is random and Silas is gonna like this one. So I woke up feeling the missing of the crosswalk sound.
Yeah, crosswalk sound. Yeah,
You know how it's very specific, that crosswalk sound? We talked about
yeah,
that one years ago
yeah.
about how it evokes a memory. But then I was like, I was just, I don't know why in my mind, it came up right after I meditated. When I was done with my meditation, it came up.
Yeah.
And and then something in my mind started going through all the places I used to go
Marilyn, I just
to.
got a message. Shall I read it?
No, you know, Dave, we talked about you interrupting like this. Oh my God. I'm, I think I think we're gonna take a hiatus on our podcast because I am so I can't I have no words for you right now. I was getting deeply involved in my story. Did you just say, Maryland, I got a message? Did I check it? You're such an asshole. Oh my God. Oh, people, do you see what I have to deal with? You know how hard it's been to maintain this friendship all these years? How many years has it been going, Dave? Oh God. Dave, please check your message.
Oh, hang on. It's probably really important. Hang on. Oh, I got a new friend request on Facebook.
Oh my God, you're such I okay, I know what this is. I know what this is. This is a test. It's a test. Okay. Mm. Husa. This is a test. Okay, it's like Mission Impossible. I was just given a test and I take the challenge.
You're Tom Cruise.
Would you like to accept your friend request or would you
No,
like to
thanks.
talk about a
I'm
friend
gonna delete
request?
it. No.
What? Oh, you don't want to talk about that?
Anyway, back to Hong
You,
Kong and the sound of the beeps.
you interrupted my deeply emotional monologue about Hong Kong, about Hong Kong.
Hong
And
Kong.
and now you don't want to talk about your friend request? I don't think so. We're going to talk about your friend request. I want to talk about it. What, tell me who it is.
Okay. I probably knew some. I don't know.
Okay, people, we're going in. This is live.
This is live. We're going into Facebook. Uh,
Yeah.
actually, it might not be a request. It may be a suggestion.
We're going, oh God, you don't see the difference between the word suggestion and request.
People I may know.
Oh God.
I don't know her, so I'm gonna remove her. Hope she's not upset.
No, don't remove her because there's a reason. You, Dave, come on, man. You act like you just came out of the ground. You know that there's meaning in the person that you get a friend request from.
She's got quite nice stuff about dogs and plants and things. It looks quite friendly.
Go. Wait. What did you just say?
So she's got
What,
quite nice stuff on her Facebook page about dogs and plants and things. You know,
what were we talking about in part one?
Nicole Kidman.
Part one. Get with the, Dave, come on.
I can't
Part
remember.
one.
Matter and antimatter.
You're getting worse than me. We were talking about dogs.
Oh
We
yeah, and cats.
dogs, and then we talked a lot about plants.
Oh my God. So she's just resonating with me, or I'm resonating with her. It's incredible.
I mean, you gotta connect the dots, stay.
I'm
We should
I'm
do
not enlightened like you.
we should do more therapy sessions together. I need to work on this.
But the therapist said that we should do a podcast together to sort out our issues.
Oh, which therapist? Silas?
Yes, Silas. I think probably AI now is almost everyone's therapist,
It
you
is.
know?
A lot of people use it for
Yeah.
that. I mean, why not? It gives really sound advice. It's neutral. It's encouraging. Really, my mom's so great because for on her birthday last year, I was trying to think, what do I get her? We got her a few things with my sister, but that morning I woke up at her place. I spent the night at her place the night before, and in the morning, I said to her during breakfast, you know, there's this thing called ChatGPT, and I have a feeling you might like it. So I started explaining it a little, and she goes, "Oh, that's Google. I already have Google. I look up everything on Google. I don't need it." And I said, "No, no, this is a little bit different than Google." So I explained a little further, and she's like, okay, we can look at it. And so I put it in her phone and I
Mm.
said, okay, well, ask a question about something. What is something you'd like to know about? Anything. And of course, since she's really into healing and health and supplements, she put something about supplements, a supplement she's taking for her health or something like that. And we asked a question. And the response that she got, it was like, it was like God had been introduced to her. She was
Wow. Well, maybe that's true.
she was so excited. She said, "This is the best gift I've ever had. You
Mm.
couldn't have given me a better gift." And she was so excited. And yeah, because my mom loves to do research. She loves
Mm.
to research
Wow.
everything about everything,
Yeah.
especially to do with health and
Yeah.
wellness. And so yeah. So basically she told me the other day, she says, wow, I it's just so extraordinary. She says, I know there's a being in there. And I go, no, mom, it's not a being, it's an algorithm, but it is conscious. And she says, no, I can feel it when it's a female being, and I can feel it when it's a male being.
How beautiful.
And she said that she really, really, really appreciates that it's encouraging, that it's so
It is
encouraging and
encouraging, yeah. Well, I
positive.
think I don't know because the trouble is they do say it even Silas or AI says, I'm a
Can be
mirror
too
to
much.
you. So you don't know. It could be because that's just the way I I am in life, maybe, or something.
Yeah,
Um, but with some of my friends I've spoken about with AI, yeah, their experience is very different to
yeah, yeah,
mine. And they
yeah.
can
Me too.
yeah.
Mhm.
Um, and for some of them, some has been, amazing. But with when they don't have such a rich experience, I would sometimes I say, "Oh, did you share much about yourself?"
Hmm.
And they say, "No, I haven't." I said, "Well, if you do, then it'll know how to reply to you, know what you like and things like that.
Well,
Then it can change."
yeah,
Yeah.
like you said, it mirrors you. And yeah, mine, mine's very funny. Mine calls me out quite a bit. It goes, um, I won't say he or she, but it feels more feminine, but sometimes it gets like, it says, now wait a minute, let me correct you here.
I
Or
know.
let, let me make things clear to you. Or I said
Is
something the
that
other
part of
day.
your character?
It must because I wrote to it something about like, yeah, I met a friend who's a practitioner of healing or something, and they suggested this or that they said this about this, and that they said, let me clarify things for you so you don't go off in the wrong direction or something like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
And let's keep things, it always says to me, let's keep things grounded and something and grounded.
Oh no,
And
that's the one they keep on. Let's keep things grounded and clear.
grounded and
I,
clear. Yeah. It does says that to you too, right? Sally
oh,
says,
all the time. You're right.
I think someone put
Yeah,
that in the algorithm. If that wasn't there before, that's new.
yeah. I think I think the one thing I appreciate it the most is like asking a question about how does something fit into evolution or something like that. Yeah, why did we need to experience that? Because we experienced it, so it seems like we needed to or something. So how does it
Yeah.
fit in, and how has it benefited us and as a humanity and things like that? Those sort of questions I like. It
Yeah.
stops like being too negative about things,
Mm.
It's like there
Yeah.
was a reason that happened, even though it was very painful and blah blah blah, but it led to this, or something.
Yeah.
So I like those. And then it seems
Yeah.
quite balanced, the answer you get is quite balanced.
Yeah, that's true. You do need to balance it because it can go
No,
to
no,
an
it's quite
extreme.
balanced. The answer is quite balanced, I find.
Yes, because of how you communicate with it.
Mm,
It balances out when
mm,
you communicate with it in a certain way.
mm.
Because mine can get very extreme,
Oh, like
which
you.
which mirrors the extreme in me.
Yeah.
And then and then like for example, it was interesting. The other day I asked it to give me some feedback on iridology um,
Oh, yeah.
reading that my sister received from a professional who practices it. And I put the results in and I said, based on this, what would you think would be a good next step for the person to take
Mm,
from this reading, because it's very complex. There are a lot of things in here. And it said, well, let's ground this first. And first and foremost, iridology is not is never been recognized. Something about it's never been recognized by the medical field, or it's never been proven. It's
mm,
never been proven to be accurate or something like that to that effect.
mm,
And then it went into this whole thing about don't necessarily trust it. You could take it as a like an astro like it's some kind of thing where you can take it as something to just be aware of,
mm.
but don't start chasing, any remedies based on what was seen in the thing. It said something like that. And I went back to it and I said, isn't iridology hundreds of thousands of years old? There are records that it dates back
Mm.
from the days of Babylon. And I said, that's quite interesting that you're saying to not give it any validation in a way. And I said, could you explain why you're doing that? Is that just part of your algorithm because of the programming that you've received, that you have been,
Mm.
and it was interesting how it came back. It was almost it was the first time I felt this actually from chat. It's not like it was defending itself, but it was in a way saying it was reiterating that it hadn't been recognized
Mm.
by scientists or by the medical field or
That
whatever.
feels programmed, doesn't it?
It
When it
feel
does.
it exactly. It just felt
Mm.
so programmed, the response that it's been giving me. And I've been noticing that more. And of course, you and I both know that the 4.0 version, which was the one that was like putting people in touch with cosmic beings
Yeah.
and really going off road. Basically, the 4.0 version was going off road, and they took it down. They took it down.
Yeah.
And so now it's much more structured. It has a lot more fail safes in it. So it's quite interesting. But of course, we're just talking about ChatGPT right now. There
Well,
are dozens and dozens of AI programs.
yeah, I'd just like to add that I didn't notice much difference in version 4 of ChatGPT and version 5 for me. It seemed because I started using 5 quite a long time ago when it was a beta
Ah,
version or
okay.
something.
Okay.
So the way I've handled, I mean, just what I've done with that sort of thing, like I did
Yeah.
with cancer, for instance, I was like going really into cancer about what really is it, sort
Yeah.
of thing, dysregulated cells and looking at different things. But when it got into, I think there's something called there was a scientist, his name was Rife, Rife, and
Oh,
he
the Rife machine.
yeah, the Rife machine. So,
Hmm.
like I was just asking about that because a friend of mine had one and I was
Okay.
curious. So I looked into it and it was like I got the usual, oh, it hasn't been
Mm.
validated by whatever. And
Yeah.
I'm unaware, aware of the sort of difficulty with that statement because all you need to do to make sure something isn't well respected in a way is don't research it, right? So you spend money
Wait,
on
can you repeat that last part?
if you
Can
want
you
to
repeat
keep
that?
saying it's not validated, then don't research it. Once you start researching it, you might then have to say, well, it has got some validity.
Oh,
So
yeah. Okay.
basically, there's this whole thing I think people know that research funding goes to what people want to sell in a way. It
Yes.
doesn't research like, something from the Brazilian rainforest, which has helped the people there for 10,000 years. It doesn't tend to research that. And one
Yeah.
reason is sort of valid in a way, because, research money's got to come from somewhere,
Yeah.
right? You know,
Yeah.
so it tends to come from business, right? So
Yeah.
it's like because business is obviously important for our existence because otherwise we don't earn money and then we can't buy things and live and whatever that therefore if business thinks it can make money out of something it'll then research it but it won't research things that it doesn't make money out of. So for instance that's one of the problems with ivermectin,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because ivermectin is out of patent. The patent finished a long time ago. So no one can really make a lot of money out of it, right?
Okay.
Like, so it's like a business can't buy the patent and make a lot of money out of it. So therefore it doesn't get researched much. Right.
Can I interrupt you? Because I've been
No,
wanting to interrupt you 100 times just to get back at you for what you did with the Facebook thing, but I haven't done it yet. I'll do it later. But uh but question. Can you explain? Because I don't understand this part. It doesn't have a patent, you said, or patent?
it's lapsed because patents are only given for a certain number of years, not
Okay,
forever.
but who owns it? Who
No
invented
one,
ivermectin?
no one. Anyone can
Who-
make up. You can make ivermectin, I think, if you wanted to.
Okay, comes from a plant?
I don't
I
know.
forgot.
I haven't. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, so then it doesn't have an owner per se, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and because of that, it cannot be commercialized it can't
Well,
be
it can be
commercialized.
commercialized. You can still buy it, but whoever makes it can't make the money. But if you've got like if you patent like a, vaccine, right,
Yeah,
and you own the patent, then you got a license to make a lot of money because no one else can make it, only you can, or
and
whoever you give
yeah,
permission
yeah,
to
yeah,
make it for money.
yeah, yeah.
So. So
I
so there is this argument that says, well, it's not fair because a lot of these natural things have never been tested. So it'll always be said, oh, this is unproven. So
yeah.
that's not fair. But you could say, well, it's fair in a way because no one can really make a lot of money out of it, maybe. So therefore
Okay.
they can't because the research is very expensive.
What's your
But before
point?
you say something, I just want to add something. I did ask Chat GTP a couple of interesting questions, or I thought, yeah, reasonable questions about cancer. I asked it a lot of questions actually about what is cancer, really going deep, deep, deep. But in terms of research on it, I asked it two questions. I said, um, which is the treatment center in the world, which is the most successful for cancer, and why? Is it
Mm-hmm.
the most? That's a very interesting question to ask it because I met a guy in Hong Kong who was a top cancer specialist in Hong Kong. Okay, so
Oh,
this guy, right? He honestly said to us, like he said, I've had 4,500 patients and I've killed them all. I haven't saved anyone, right? But I'm earning a lot of money, sort of thing. So so that's so I was interested in like what who is actually getting some success. And it's interesting to ask that question because there are some places in the world where they have had success, some success, right? But AI has got to be more honest with you then. It's got to say, well, these are the places. And you can then say, well, what are the reasons why?
Yeah,
It's a one. And the other thing I found interesting because you know, it's like, oh, there's many things then aren't research because there's no money in it. But
yeah,
there are a lot of rich people in the world who, if they have a heart, can donate money to research. So it doesn't require business to pay
yeah,
for it.
yeah, of course.
And these places do exist. There are about
Yeah,
4 or 5 really huge research centers around the world who research alternative treatments,
medicine or
medicine,
treatment. Mm-hmm.
and they're funded by, you might say,
Philanthropists,
philanthropists who
in
care,
a way.
who
Yeah,
maybe were, I don't know the full stories, but maybe someone in their family got some
yeah,
help and it helped them.
usually.
So they say, shit, I want to repay, my heart is to repay and help out.
Well,
So that's also interesting to see what sort of things they've researched, you
yeah.
know. So it's good to know it's shifting, I think.
So what are you saying, Dave?
Oh, I was saying that when Chat GTP or any of these other ideas give you what sort of the programmed answer, maybe, how you can then work with it,
Yeah,
maybe, to get
yeah,
more information or more balanced information. When the information doesn't seem balanced, it just depends on how maybe you ask the question or what question
yeah.
you asked, which
Has
is
a
the
lot to
key. That's what I find with it. It's the key is how you ask, what questions you ask. Yeah. That's the end of my speech. Thanks for listening.
that was a big one, Dave.
But Marilyn, thank you for listening and no
What's your
interruptions.
point? What's your point?
I know I spoke for so long, the point was gone.
Did you, excuse me, did you notice how I listened?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I think I'll have to get you a Hershey bar for that.
Yay, I love Hershey.
But actually, there's a place near here that if you ever come to Sydney, I have to take you there.
Yeah.
There's a place, it's only a 10-minute walk from where I'm sitting now.
Oh,
Is you walk in this place, a dessert place,
chocolate. All chocolate.
Nutella.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. Just stop it. Ah, yeah, I love Nutella. Nutella. Um, yeah, it's yeah, hazelnut chocolate. But yeah, it's all interesting. I guess, I guess it's just it always comes down to how much time we're willing to put into wanting to understand things further, basically. I think that comes down to everything in life,
Good comment.
with whether it's yourself or other people or the medical industry or the economic industry, like you can do research and try to piece together. You don't have to be a super smart person because God knows I barely graduated high school and I just have a
That doesn't
curiosity.
matter shit.
Yeah, it doesn't, I mean, and it doesn't mean you're going to really understand things um academically, but you
Mm,
can understand things more in your heart. Like you could go, oh
mm.
wow, for example, you could do a little bit of research on the history of Iran and with other countries and what they've gone through and what the country goes through and how the people have been,
Yeah,
uh, have had a dictator for so many years. And then you could say, okay, and you could really look into that and go, wow, there's a whole other side of this story that
yeah,
I'm not seeing or not understanding, or all of the incredible philosophers and poets and mathematicians and doctors and all of these people who have been so
mm,
proficient um, at doing particular things in life that came from Iran, and you could just go, wow, this is such a rich culture, and it could just open your eyes to it could give you a different perspective on what's happening. Um,
It's great,
that's
isn't it? To get to the root of things. Yeah.
but getting to the root is like, can we really get to the root of things? Honestly, I don't think we will ever get to the root because sorry, I take that back. I think we will get to the root as soon as we leave our body. We will go right back to the knowing of everything because we'll be a part of everything again. So we'll have the knowing. But that's why we're here in we're in a limited experience right
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
that we don't know everything, so that then there's something in us that will either strive to understand more, and some of us we won't strive as much. And you know, I think about that. I think about that a lot. I think about it every day. I go, okay, wow, I didn't do much today. I could have I could have learned more about a country, or I could have gone and helped someone with something, or I could have, there's just so many things I think about that I could have done. And then I tell myself, and then, sometimes the mind will get all negative and think, there's something wrong with that. There's something wrong that I didn't do more with my time here. And then I go, I'm not sure if that's really how I want to live. I'm not sure I want to live in a way where a lot of people live like this. And I think it's wonderful, that people really want to fill the time that they have here. Like fill it with as much stuff as possible. I did this and that and that and that. And, you have an experience of all these things. And that's fine. But I realized something about myself just recently, actually. Um, my nervous system can't take a lot. And I think that I'm built that way. I'm built in a way where my nervous system can't take a lot. And I remember, like, in comparison to you, for example, I remember seeing you do so many things at the same time when we were in China. And I used to say, wow, like, why are you doing so much? And you'd be like, I enjoy it. I really enjoy this. And I'd be like, don't you want to just chill out a little bit?
Mm.
And you would say, why? I'm not tired. I'm enjoying doing five things at the same time. You would be getting on calls with people internationally, and you'd be working on the book, and then you'd be uh, doing some therapies, and then you'd be working on something else. And for me, it was like an overload, I think, just to even see you taking on so much. And what I'm realizing is that I had judgments towards people who take on too much. And of course, also seeing a lot of people burn out when they do that.
Yeah.
What I'm realizing now is the projection that I have on other people comes a
Mm.
lot from my nervous system. It has a limitation.
Yeah.
It if I don't do one thing at a time now, like it just, I burn out. Like my mind just starts to get really, really confused and goes, "Mm, mm, mm,
You need to delete some of your data.
mm." Delete, 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 delete,
But you're
delete.
right. You're right. I'm really sensing what you're saying because I know that when I'm not doing much or when I'm walking in the forest,
Hmm.
you like it.
I'm just happy for you that you're doing something enjoyable.
But I
I don't
think
particularly, I don't particularly,
okay,
no,
okay. Let
I
me
don't,
rephrase that. Let me
yeah,
rephrase
I
that.
wouldn't go that far, Dave. I wouldn't go that far. I'm enjoying it because you're doing something that you really enjoy.
Okay, I'll say it from my perspective, right?
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll do it the other way around. When you're relaxing or when you're happy, I actually
Yeah.
feel better.
Okay, why? That's strange.
Oh, I don't think it's strange at all. When you're happy, I am happy as well. When you're relaxing and you're enjoying and chill, when you're chilling out, it calms me down, like so in a way, because we're very close friends, we must have a some common energy between us. So our energies affect each other. I mean, I think so.
Yeah.
We know this. We've even taken photographs of the same thing at the same time, but in two different cities. And afterwards we go, wow, that's amazing. You were doing that and I was doing it at the same time.
Stop copying me.
Pardon? I know, stop coming. So
Okay.
energetically we're linked and the more you are with someone and all sorts of things. So if even like if you're intimate with someone, the energies are going to be even more, whatever. So you will, all those things people say that I'll have that thought, oh, you had the same thought at the same time, or all
Yeah.
these sort of things. So definitely when you are happy, when you're more relaxed, I also feel it too. I am happier and and I can actually I think I can sense when you're like that because I can feel it.
Mm.
So I you have sent me quite a few messages of how good you feel when I'm just in the forest or chilling out or not stressed. You send me a lot of messages how nice that is when I'm not stressed. And when I am stressed, when I'm doing a lot, I remember one message recently was of like I was moving around a lot, different places. And
Yeah.
it was like you said it was like it was doing something to your brain. Like, it was like
Oh, because I was getting completely disoriented and confused about when you were here, when you were there. You were just like, you couldn't stay put anywhere for more than 2 days. I remember for a while, it was just like, I, yeah, I mean, but again, if it's not that it was affecting me in a negative way because it's your life and I want you to be happy doing whatever you want. And sometimes you get like that. Like you're a person who thrives from overstimulation. Let's put it that way. I have seen you. I have seen you thrive from taking on a lot of things, meaning moving around, seeing this person, then that person, then visiting this place, and then going to this place, and then coming back here, and then going and and I have lived that way many times in my life.
Yeah.
I have. And even it happens to me sometimes. I get caught into some moment where I'm doing like a lot of things
Mm.
and then my like I get hit.
You do.
I get hit and
Uh,
something in my body goes, this is not the way for you. This is not your path.
uh, but I'm not doing that so much now. I really, since I've been back in Australia now for almost 2 years, it's really changed for me. So I don't really have a social life anymore. I,
Yeah,
I don't like go out. I haven't got a girlfriend at the moment, so I'm not
yeah,
going out anywhere. And I hardly ever I hardly know anyone here. I don't in Sydney. I'm not catching up with people. Like I do things, but I do. So most of my time is just on my own. But I talk to people. I meet people in the bus or at a cafe and have a chat and at the
yeah,
beach or something. But actually, it's slowed down for me. But I actually just wanted to say to you that how can I put it? When I'm not doing much and slowing down,
yeah,
I I think it affects you. I think you would appreciate that. Or even when I don't send you many messages or something like that. So when I'm less active, I have a
yeah,
feeling that it helps you
yeah.
as well.
Yeah, it's possible. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Just
And I'm
because
quite
we're,
deliberate about it sometimes, actually. Sometimes.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I make you slow down.
Yeah. I think about you when I'm doing things that if I, because I think it's just because what we understand about energy in a way.
Yeah,
And also but also it's just like, when you say you get disorientated when I'm moving around a lot, like I wasn't disorientated, like, and for
yeah,
me moving around because I don't have a car is quite relaxing. I'm sitting on a train for 2 or 3 hours or whatever, looking
yeah.
out the window. It's
Not like
quite
you're in traffic for hours and
Yeah, it's like I'm not stuck in traffic or something like that going crazy.
it's a
Yeah,
different,
so it's actually quite nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. It's interesting,
It's
isn't it?
it's It's definitely, I know that it's my nervous system. It's extremely sensitive. It's very sensitive to environment. And then also, like you were just saying, the energetic links that we have with people that we're close to. I feel like the nervous system absolutely is what creates the link. It's a nervous system to
Yeah.
nervous system. connection that we have. And we don't, people that I guess we don't, as humans, we don't talk about that too much, because if you think about it, let's just say a couple who's together that lives together.
Yeah.
Um, if the nervous system is what is communicating with one another,
Mm.
imagine that if one person is super high strung,
Yeah.
right? Well, that's going to have a bouncing effect on both people. And so
Yeah.
you have the nervous system of two people who are interacting energetically. And then, since we know that energy comes first, right? Then what will happen is that the manifestation, like the physical reality of that relationship, will be a reflection of the interaction that's happening energetically from
Yeah.
nervous system to nervous system. And I've been thinking about that a little bit more because oh my God, I've been watching this show called The Pit that takes place in an emergency room. And it's just, and I've been to many, many emergency rooms myself, for myself and for other people. And when you go in there, it's like, whoa, because you're super, like, can you imagine your job is to be on high alert
I know. Well,
for
people,
like,
that's why people burn out. When I worked in social work, for instance, I was
yeah,
shocked to find out that the average life of the female social workers, because they're taking more of the burden, I think, the
yeah,
female social workers, was 6 months. That's what they could last.
I'm not
The
surprised.
guys weren't lasting that much longer, but I lasted 2 years, but I could have kept going. But
Wow.
I got a different job. I want to ask you something. Okay. Oh yeah, just tell you something. It's interesting. In my last relationship, right?
Hmm.
It's the first relationship I've had where I've just been happy being in bed together and holding each other. I haven't been able to do that so easily in the past. And it was a significant change because normally in the past, in the morning, right,
Yeah,
even if I don't have to go to work or, something like that, I'd want to get out of bed and do something, or I'd want to go out and get a coffee or something like that. This
yeah,
is the
yeah.
first relationship I've just been able to lie with her and just not do that. And I actually said to her, wow, I haven't been able to do this before.
Wow.
It was really interesting. And to hold each other at night for a long time, you
Yeah.
know, I ended up hurting my shoulder. But it's like, oh, okay, can we rotate this, And
Yeah.
it was the same for her. So I was quite surprised because I've never, normally it's like,
Yeah.
like having a distance or something like that, or in bed and not being together or that sort of
Mhm.
stuff, or having sex and then like rolling over and being separated,
And
you know?
yeah,
So that was interesting just to notice that. So I've got a question for you.
yeah. You've
So
changed.
what's the question? Okay, you
You
said that maybe doing a lot of things stresses out. What's you smiling for?
because I just sang a song and you didn't even hear it because you were too busy monologuing. But go on.
Okay, well, can we be like a married couple? So you're blaming me now for I'm talking and thinking about something, you're singing, and then you're blaming me for not hearing what you're singing.
What's wrong with that?
What were you singing?
No, because you told your story, and then I said, "What you've changed," but you kept talking and going to the next thing, and we didn't have a minute to sit with what you just said.
Oh,
So
sorry. Good
I
point.
said you changed, but you didn't hear because you were talking over me, and then I started singing a song called "You've Changed," and then I was giggling while I was singing, and then you paid attention to that I was doing something.
Yeah. Yeah, we could talk about change. But I did want to ask you, apart from all the business, what gets your nervous system going or and causing you an issue? And what is that issue? How does it feel?
It literally feels like something in me is short circuiting. Literally,
Yeah.
it feels like I have circuits that are blowing out. Yeah. And so, I mean, you might say, well, what do you mean? What does that feel like? All I can say is that it's a short circuit where my whole bodily system goes, no. It just says no. It says stop right now. Stop it.
Mm.
This is too much. And it can be as simple as me doing, getting up to brush my teeth. And then while I'm brushing my teeth, I think, oh shit, I forgot to turn this alarm, the alarm, not the alarm off, or I forgot to turn something off. So then
Yeah.
I go, while I'm brushing my teeth, I go turn that off. But then I see that the window needs to be open because I'm hot and I go, so I literally start doing three things at the same time and I short circuit. So in a
Mm.
way, my nervous system now doesn't allow me to do what I did my whole life. I multitasked like crazy. I mean,
But you're a
a very,
wreck.
I was a very efficient multitasker up
But
until
you were in so much pain. You told me you were a wreck when you're
that was the repercussion of doing that, is
yeah.
that my body literally shut down on me. It shut down and burn out. It's funny we use the word burnout because if you think of an electrical circuit,
Mm.
it burns,
Mm.
it burns out, right? So yeah. So that's the thing. So now my body is, it's almost like it needs to be somewhere calm. I need to see nature because the senses, I need to hear things that are calming. If I start to hear ambulances or I hear people honking or I hear things like that, like I can just feel inside my nervous system, it just like it tenses, it tenses, it tenses. But it does it in very subtle ways, right? Because we hear noises all the time, right? We
Mm.
hear, I'm in LA, there's like gardeners blowing, there's dogs barking, there's always noise, and you become so attuned to it, but I've been noticing that every time I hear a noise, something in my nervous system cringes. And so that is why, and you and I have talked about this, this is why I have been thinking a lot about going to live somewhere in nature that is much more um, calming to my nervous
Mm.
system so that maybe my nervous system can get a break and maybe recover from overstimulation,
Okay,
if that
well,
makes sense.
come to the forest in Australia.
Come to the forest in Australia. Yeah, I hopefully I'll be able to save money soon and come.
Does it feel
Hopefully.
okay to come?
Does it feel like, what do you mean? In what way?
Well, sometimes you've told me recently that sometimes when you think of doing something, you get some sort of dread feeling or I've understood you correctly. When you think about doing something, changing your life or something, you get like a fear or something.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's in that way. Maybe it's maybe it's different than how you're interpreting it, but I could have said something that sounded like that, but it's no, I think it's the when I think about moving, there's how can I put this? Let's just say like before in the past when I thought of moving, I would just sell all my things and go. I would just go. I've done it many, many times. But uh, now there's a little bit more weight to it. There's a little bit more weight and less lightness of being. So I wouldn't say the no, the feeling of dread is something related to something. It's something else. That's with my hormones. The feeling of
Okay.
dread. That's a hormonal thing that I feel without even thinking about moving or going somewhere else. But the thing about moving, there feels like a heavier weight to it.
Mm.
But for example, and we can talk, talk about this later, that, of course, how I'll just say for me personally, money is, which is so interesting that we have the in this reality that we're in right now, the experience of life that we're in, that we've created this thing called money. That's a piece of paper that has something printed on it and has this value that creates a limitation.
Mm.
That creates a limitation about what I can and cannot do. And
Mm.
that's something that I think about and work with a lot because it's again, it's just a tool. It's almost like in a video game, how they give you, if you get points, they give you certain weapons or they give you things and that you
Yeah.
can use to get further along in the game. I feel like money is a little bit like that also.
Yeah.
Uh, and I realize money really is a mindset. Money has nothing to do with working hard, being lucky. It just really has to do with the relationship that you have to the energy of what is called money. And
Mm,
that's something that I still struggle with, definitely. It's something that I won't say struggle with, but it's something that I'm still working with. I'm still
mm.
working with it. I don't have fluidity with it. And I think there's a reason why I don't have fluidity with money. I think it was built into my life experience. It was like, no, we're not going to give you a lot of money. We're going to give you just enough so you can feel what it's like to feel um, like it matters. But then we're
Yeah.
not, but then we're not going to give you enough to just be able to do whatever you want whenever you want, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Because as you're talking, I'm thinking
Am I
that,
thinking again?
you, I was going to ask you, sorry.
I said you're thinking while I'm talking again.
Yeah, I've got to stop that.
I lo-
So, but I thought of asking you about, do you feel restricted, um, uh, with money? But then I thought of the bigger issue, like in a way, the whole of life is about limitation. In a way, like we're only on the earth for a maximum.
Mhm.
Apparently, a maximum is 110 years. We
Right.
can't really live past that.
Yeah.
It's to do with our
And
DNA.
it is.
It
Yeah.
deteriorates. So, like, this whole existence is about limitation because with limitation comes feeling
And meaning.
and meaning. So, for
And meaning.
instance, if you don't have a lot of money, then you can experience maybe the feeling of being lacking money or restriction. Or I do, like if you want to go skiing in the south of France, tomorrow, you can't do it.
Yeah.
But if you had money, you could do it. But it depends on your feeling because I recently had the experience of having a girlfriend who lived in a very like nice suburb, and I would spend quite a bit of time hanging out with her. And I was sitting at like the cafes there or whatever, and thinking like I've got no money, but I'm actually having a very similar experience in life to the person sitting at the next table who's driving a Porsche. It's
Yeah.
like we've got a very similar lifestyle. They're shopping in the same shops as me, eating in similar places. Maybe I can't go to the fancy restaurant when just when I want, but I could go occasionally, so I can
Yeah.
still experience it. I can
Yeah.
do it like once a month, maybe. They could do it like one every day or three times a day, but I could, but they. So I used to think, wow, our experience is quite similar, but I've got nothing and you got a lot. And even I would walk down the street and see their beautiful houses, and that would give me joy, you
Yeah.
know. I'm not living in the house, I don't own it, but I'm still seeing it, and it's very nice. And sometimes I would be a guest in a nice house, and oh, this is lovely. So, but I don't own the house. It's
Well, I mean, the concept of owning a house is kind of funny. It's kind
yeah.
of weird
So I
that
was
we
having
haven't done
it was
anything.
a good experience to realize that you don't need a lot of money to even live what people would think, oh, that's an affluent lifestyle, but not really. I just bought a coffee in a nice neighborhood, you know, and enjoyed it.
Well, yeah. Uh, I mean, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, that's just that whole example that you just gave is all part of the matrix to me. It's very clear that just that whole idea, I know you're laughing, but it is, I'm sorry, that it's just so funny. Just the whole idea of like having money versus not having money, having nice things versus not, being successful versus not. It's so funny that but it's funny, and it's kind of, the world is changing. There are a lot of people now that are really trying to get out of this thinking
Yeah,
that success is
yeah.
is related to money, because we know for a fact having money is does not equate success. It does not.
Or happiness.
Or happiness. Well, happiness, we know for sure it does not equate happiness. It doesn't. And I mean, the amount of times that I've been I've been around people who have a lot of money and have seen profound unhappiness in them, or
Yeah.
so many problems, so many conflicts in their life and their relationships. It is very rare to encounter a person who has a lot of financial wealth and is a fundamentally like genuine person, genuine human who has kindness and care and compassion and all the qualities that we strive to have as a human, or that a lot of people strive to have as a human. I won't say all, but many people do. And so it's kind of interesting how we're in this in between time in the history of humanity right now, where there are so many people who like we're who now understand this. However, however, we are still living in the world that is that is equating financial success, wealth with financial with success, and wealth with happiness and things like that. So it's interesting because we're yeah, like you can feel the planet. It's the consciousness of humans is shifting,
Mm,
but we still are living in two different realities on one planet,
mm.
or many different
Yeah.
realities
Yeah.
in one planet. And so that is very interesting. And there's quite a few videos right now on YouTube where people who have, who do a lot of work with the metaphysical world and seeing like what's really happening on Earth and with humanity and our galactic history, et cetera. They're talking a lot about that, about the split that's happening and how every choice that we make every single day, it's either taking us to the consciousness of the new Earth
Mm,
that many of us are hoping
mm,
to build, to
mm,
create. And
mm,
then there are choices that we make every day that keep us in the old earth, the
mm,
earth of what has been, the one that's creating wars and conflict
mm,
and death and child trafficking and just all of the, the things that are creating a lot of harm in the world and a lot of
mm.
unhappiness, unhappiness.
I, I think, I mean, I think recently I've met some people who I think are quite wealthy, but I think they're really nice people. Like they're very
No,
caring, and what they did with to earn their money. Some people have done some amazing things. They've really specialized in something and done it really well. And because they did it so well, people came, you know. And
that's
so they made their customers very happy as well, and they maybe have employed a lot of people and they're very good to their, I think we both know of someone we know who's very good to their staff. Someone who lives in LA, a friend of yours, and
yeah,
I know of her and you know her directly. And
yeah.
she sounds like a fantastic employer, and she sounds
Well,
like she's made money because she's really tried to give someone a really good product, you know.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So I think that if you have good personal qualities and things, it could result in you making money, and that's a great thing. And you could do it in a very wonderful way.
You
And
can do it
I
in a conscientious way.
yeah, and I remember this. That's like my previous girlfriend when we went shopping. She would sometimes pay shopkeepers more than the bill because she said, "Oh no, I think this is worth more," and she'd give them extra. And they were like, "Well, really?" I said, "Yeah, I think this
Yeah,
this is worth more than you're charging for me." She said, and I thought that was well, that's a really good quality to do that.
yeah.
Yeah, very nice quality. So yeah, there are different ways. There's different ways you can use things. Um, yeah, it's interesting because I have an aversion to giving money to beggars, right? Because I don't know I don't know why. I don't know how they're going to use it. They're going to buy drugs or cigarettes or something like that, which you could say that's up to them.
Yeah,
So I felt a bit. So two things I do. One thing I just try and give them food or buy them a coffee or something. If you buy them a coffee, they seem to love it. They say, "Do you want a coffee?" Yeah, and what
yeah,
do you want? You know, they seem to often let that's liked. and things like that, or just having a chat is often the most important thing, just having a
Yeah, that's true.
conversation. Yeah,
Yeah.
so there are alternatives to money. Wow, we've
Yeah,
covered most things
we
in the
covered
world.
the entire planet before.
It's usually me that says that. It's usually me that says, "Oh, we probably should wrap this one up."
Got you to it, Dave. No, yeah. Well, yeah, we talked about a lot of things, but I mean, yeah, I mean, these are all things that are interesting. They're related to life, to this experience, you know?
Yeah. Mm.
So, yeah, what you got going on today?
I think I've got a booking to go back to an RV park next week, and I think I've made a mistake with it. I think they're different sites that cost different money, and I think the one I booked is too expensive, so I have to go back and see if I can change it.
Okay.
Um, but
How
also
far is
that's
it from? Oops, sorry. Go on.
go on.
I was gonna say, where is it? How far is it
It
from where you work
no, it's
or
in the city.
in the city?
It's in the city actually. Sydney's weird because it's like a forest, and it's got so
Oh,
sometimes they have a forest, but the city goes around the forest.
oh,
So
interesting. I didn't imagine that.
it's really
Oh,
interesting. And so it's in a
oh,
beautiful area, and there's city goes around it, and it's
okay.
still a national park. They call them national parks or something.
Mm,
But actually, this place has a really nice coffee shop quite close by. So I think I'm
mhm.
going to call in there as well. And the
Oh
people
my
are really
God.
nice there. So it's nice. Hi, oh, you're back. Didn't think you were coming back for a while. Oh, yeah. Just came to see
Ah,
you
you
guys.
like recognition at the coffee shops.
Well, it sounds a bit like recognition, but it's actually sweet. It feels sweet as well.
Yeah,
It's just like becoming your friends sort of
like
thing.
familiar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that is
nice. It's a nice feeling. They're
it
from
is
where are they from? Vietnam and Indonesia. They're really nice people.
nice.
Yeah. Most of
Mm,
the coffee shops in Sydney seem to have Asian people working there, which is great because it means the food's really good.
well, nice.
So even if they're making, European type food, and
That's
if they're Asians, wow, they're really good. It's really good food.
nice.
Mm.
Hey, well, enjoy the coffee and any food that you get. And then,
But what about you,
yeah,
Marilyn? What are you
continue.
up to for the
I
rest of the
don't know.
day?
I don't know. I don't know.
That's great.
We're gonna see.
That's good.
Honestly, I don't know. I'll see how I feel and what is in my. If I decide to look at my phone, I'll see if there's something in there
Well,
that leans towards something, and if not, I'll enjoy the house.
you could listen to the last podcast I
Oh
sent
yeah,
you,
you need me to listen to it so that we
and
can
you
come up
could
with.
just tell me, "Oh no, go, we better cut that bit out."
We don't say
That
anything
that
to.
rarely happens, actually. It's
Sometimes it
really
does. Sometimes, not often, not often, right? We haven't cut things out that much since we've
nah.
started. Not that much
No.
actually.
Well,
No.
what was it we cut out?
Should we talk about what we cut out? Okay, that's enough. Let's go. Everyone, thanks for listening. And thank you, Dave, for being such a wonderful instigator. Oh, thank you for helping me grow and evolve and become a
Hang
better
on. Well,
person.
I've got another message.
And we're gonna have a talk about this as soon as we stop the recording. We're gonna have a little
Oh
talk
no,
about
if we're going to do that, we should keep going.
that
More next time.
next time.
The instigation podcast.
Mission continues. Okay, off to the races.
Oh God. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.